Hey there, James here, and today I've got something powerful to share. Wisdom every man needs to hear. While diving deep into the world of female psychology and attraction, I uncovered a truth that flipped everything I thought I knew. If a woman doesn't respect you, she'll never truly love you. Sounds straightforward, doesn't it? But trust me, it runs much deeper. Here's the twist. This isn't the kind of respect you'd get from a friend or coworker. This goes way beyond that. It's a profound, almost magnetic kind of respect that taps into something primal. And believe it or not, there's an ancient philosophy that holds the key to unlocking this kind of respect. A philosophy that's as timeless as it is powerful. Intrigued? Stick around, because today we're uncovering the secret to mastering this. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe if you're ready to transform how you handle relationships using the power of Stoicism. Every video is a step toward mastering your mindset and building stronger, more meaningful connections. All right, let's get real for a second. If you're here expecting me to tell you the usual stuff like set boundaries, be a gentleman, or hit the gym, yeah, that's not what today's about. Don't get me wrong, those things matter. They're like the basics, the warm-up, the pre-game. But they're not the secret sauce that creates that deep, unshakable respect. What we're diving into today goes way beyond surface-level advice. This is about understanding what truly makes her look at you with admiration, respect, and yes, desire. Not the, oh, he's nice kind of respect, but the kind that stirs something primal, something magnetic. Let me break it down for you with a little story. Think back to someone you deeply admired. Not just liked, but genuinely respected. Maybe it was a coach, a mentor, or even that friend who just seemed to have it all together. You didn't admire them because they bent over backward to please you, right? No, it was because they stood firm in who they were. They didn't need to shout to be heard. Their actions, their presence spoke louder than words. That's the kind of respect we're talking about today, the magnetic kind. Now let's make this even clearer by splitting it into two categories. 1, grandfather respect. Imagine the kind of respect she might have for, say, her grandpa. Sweet, kind, and wholesome. She appreciates him, maybe even adores him, but there's zero attraction involved. This is the kind of respect that lands you in the dreaded friend zone. It's safe, comfortable, and entirely platonic. 2, magnetic respect. Now this is the game changer. Magnetic respect is when she sees you as someone who commands the room, not by being loud or flashy, but by being grounded, confident, and purposeful. It's the kind of respect that makes her lean in, curious, intrigued, and a little bit awestruck. She doesn't just respect you, she's drawn to you. So, how do you become that man? Here's where I want to introduce a little wisdom from Stoicism. Don't worry, I'm not about to give you a philosophy lecture, but let me tell you, the Stoics knew a thing or two about commanding respect. Think about this. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wasn't respected because he sought approval or chased after people's opinions. No, his power came from his calm, steady confidence. He acted with integrity and clarity, never letting emotions dictate his decisions. That's the energy you want to channel. It's about being composed, decisive, and unwavering, not for her approval, but because that's who you are. The beauty of Stoicism is that it teaches you to focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, your reactions, and let go of the rest. That calm, unshakable presence, it's magnetic. It's what sets you apart from the crowd. And here's the thing, when a woman senses that you're grounded, that you're not chasing her or anyone else for validation, she can't help but respect you. That respect builds into admiration, and that admiration transforms into attraction. All right, how do you shift from the grandfather respect zone to what I like to call magnetic respect? The kind of respect that commands admiration, stirs curiosity, and creates a magnetic pull. Here's the deal. That level of respect isn't handed out freely. It's earned, step by step, through your actions, your mindset, and the way you carry yourself. Here's where a lot of guys mess up. They think respect comes from trying to please everyone, playing it safe, or following some one-size-fits-all checklist. Let me ask you this. Have you ever truly respected someone who was always trying to be liked? Someone who bent over backward to avoid conflict or disagreement? Probably not, right? True respect comes from something deeper. Picture someone you admire, maybe a leader, a coach, or even a commanding officer. You don't respect them because they beg for your approval or follow every rule in the book. No, it's because they carry themselves with authority. There's something about their presence, a quiet strength, a sense of purpose, a confidence that doesn't need to be shouted. That's the respect we're aiming for here. Not the kind you demand, but the kind you inspire. Now let's talk about this idea of power, because I know that word can sound intimidating. I'm not talking about being controlling, overbearing, or forcing your way. And when I mention fear, I don't mean making someone scared of you. It's more about creating a magnetic tension, a sense of mystery and strength that keeps her intrigued, fascinated, and, most importantly, drawn to you. And here's where Stoicism sneaks in beautifully. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and a literal emperor, embodied this concept. Do you think people respected him because he demanded it? No, they respected him because of the way he lived. He was disciplined, unwavering, and focused on what truly mattered. He didn't waste energy chasing validation or getting lost in distractions. Instead, he let his actions and his composure speak for him. Stoicism teaches us to embody this kind of power. It's not about controlling others, but mastering yourself, your emotions, your decisions, your reactions. It's about knowing when to stand firm and when to step back. This isn't just philosophy, it's a blueprint for becoming the kind of man who commands respect effortlessly. Let me give you an example to bring this home. Imagine you're in a situation where your boundaries are being tested. Most guys would either lash out in anger or stay silent out of fear of confrontation. But a man who understands Stoicism would handle it differently. He'd stay calm, assert his position with clarity, and let his actions speak louder than his words. That's the kind of strength that not only earns respect, but leaves a lasting impression. And here's the kicker. Women notice this. They notice when you're not swayed by every little thing, when you're grounded in who you are, and when you handle challenges with grace and confidence. That's what creates that magnetic tension I mentioned earlier. So here's my challenge to you. Start seeing yourself as the emperor of your own life. Not someone who controls others, but someone who inspires through their actions and presence. This is the foundation of magnetic respect. And trust me, once you tap into this, it's a game changer, not just in your relationships, but in every area of your life. All right, let me ask you something. What's your take on respect in a relationship? Do you think it's earned or just given? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to hear how you see it. Or, if you're feeling bold, type this. Respect is earned, not given. Let's flood the comments with that energy. And hey, I'll be jumping in to reply to as many as I can, so let's get the conversation going. All right, let's get back to the real talk about building respect, cultivating power, and mastering that subtle intrigue that leaves a lasting impression. Here's something you need to tattoo into your mindset. True power isn't about controlling anyone. It's about being so grounded in who you are that you become unshakable. That's the kind of energy that commands respect without you ever needing to ask for it. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who seemed utterly at ease with themselves? Someone who didn't feel the need to explain their every move or bend to fit someone else's expectations? That's the energy we're aiming for here. For instance, let's say you're thinking about quitting smoking. If you decide to do it for yourself. Not because someone asked or hinted at it. Why? Because this isn't just a decision about your health. It's a test. Whether consciously or unconsciously, many women will test you. They're not trying to be manipulative, it's instinctual. They want to see if you'll compromise your values or identity to gain their approval. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine she suggests you change your style. Maybe ditch that favorite leather jacket for something more her vibe. Or maybe she drops hints about you switching careers because she thinks something else is better for your future. Now, if you make those changes purely to please her, something subtle but crucial happens. You lose a piece of your inner power, and along with it, her respect. But when you hold your ground, when you politely but firmly say, "This is who I am, and I like it," that's when you step into your power. That's when you radiate the kind of respect that isn't just surface level but deep and unshakable. Here's a truth bomb. A woman should add to your life, not take it over. And this isn't about picking fights or being confrontational. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to compromise your core values. If she critiques your choices, don't lash out or get defensive. Stay calm, be collected, and most importantly, be confident. Words might fly, but actions? They speak volumes. So let yours show that you're a man who knows his worth. Let's talk for a moment about what Stoicism can teach us here, because it's surprisingly relevant. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, understood the power of self-control and staying true to one's principles. They believed in living with purpose and not being swayed by external opinions. Imagine how powerful it feels to live by those ideals. When someone questions your choices, you don't crumble. You listen, reflect, and then act in alignment with who you are. That's not just stoicism, that's strength. Now, let's debunk a myth we've all been fed by Hollywood rom-coms. You know, the ones where the guy gives up his dreams, his career, his everything just to win the girl? Sure, it's heartwarming on screen, but in the real world, that's a fast track to resentment and loss of respect. Here's what's more inspiring: being the kind of man who pursues his goals unapologetically, while also being loving and supportive. A man who says, "I value you, but I also value myself." That's magnetic. That's the kind of energy that draws people to you, not just women, but everyone. So as you move forward, remember this: stay true to yourself. Don't trade your happiness, your values, or your dreams for anyone's approval. And trust me, when you carry yourself with that kind of authenticity and purpose, respect and attraction naturally follow. All right, let's dive deeper into this, because the way you handle apologies and the situations that call for them can make or break the respect someone has for you. Think of this as a balancing act between humility and self-respect. The key is knowing when to apologize, how to apologize, and, most importantly, when not to. Here's a truth not many talk about. Over-apologizing is like handing out discounts on your self-worth. Constantly saying "I'm sorry" when you've done nothing wrong doesn't just weaken how others see you, it chips away at how you see yourself. Picture this. She's upset over something you said. Your instinct might be to apologize immediately just to smooth things over. But hold on. Take a step back. Ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong here? If the answer is no, don't rush to apologize. Instead, assess the situation. Let's break it down into 3 scenarios, 4 minor annoyances. Let's say she's upset about something small, like you forgetting to reply to her text right away. Here's where you keep it lighthearted. Maybe tease her a bit, flash a smile, even if it's just in your tone over text, and shift the vibe. For example, "Oh no, I didn't respond for an hour. Call the authorities." It shows you're aware, but you're not overly worried. That confidence is magnetic. For small mistakes. Now, if you actually did slip up, like forgetting a date or mixing up plans, own it, but don't grovel. A sincere, straightforward apology works wonders. "You're right, I dropped the ball on that. I'll do better next time." Give her space to process it and let her come back to you on her own terms. Trust me, chasing after her with endless apologies doesn't rebuild trust, it erodes it. For major mistakes, here's where things get serious. Let's say you truly messed up, like breaking a promise or, worst case, cheating. This is when you go all in to make amends if you genuinely want to fix things. But remember, rebuilding trust takes time, and your actions have to back up your words. Now let's flip the script. What happens when she's the one in the wrong? First rule, don't let your emotions hijack the moment. Losing your cool only makes you seem reactive and weak. Let's say she disrespects you or cancels plans last minute. Instead of getting angry, stay composed. You might calmly say something like, "That's disappointing. I expected better from you." Or even, "You're ruining your chances with me." Then leave it at that. No long explanations, no chasing after her. Here's the kicker. If she comes back with a genuine apology, give her the opportunity to make things right. But don't make it easy for her to take you for granted. Respect is built on boundaries, and enforcing them shows you value yourself. For the big betrayals, like cheating, that's a hard line. No second chances. Forgiving something that major doesn't just erode her respect for you, it erodes your respect for you. Without mutual respect, there's no foundation to rebuild on. Now let's weave in some Stoic wisdom here. The Stoics teach us to approach life and relationships with calmness, logic, and a deep sense of self-respect. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you approach these situations, don't let emotions dictate your actions. Instead, focus on maintaining your inner balance. If you've made a mistake, own it. If you haven't, stand firm. And if she's the one who's wrong, address it calmly but decisively. This isn't about controlling her or the situation, it's about mastering yourself. That's the kind of power that leaves a lasting impression. Remember this. Respect isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity and consistency. You're human, you're going to make mistakes. What matters is how you handle them. So whether it's owning up to your own missteps or calling out hers, do it with confidence, integrity, and a clear sense of your worth. That's how you command respect, not just from others, but from yourself. All right, let's dig deeper into this, because this idea of investment, her investment in you, isn't just a game changer. It's a mindset shift that most guys overlook entirely. Trust me, if you get this right, it'll transform not just how she sees you, but how you see yourself. Here's where most men slip up. They think it's all about what they give. They'll bend over backwards, spend ridiculous amounts of money, and shower her with gifts, thinking it'll win her over. But here's the thing, it doesn't work. In fact, sometimes it does the exact opposite. Why? Because when you're the only one investing, you're the only one with something to lose. And let's be honest, that's a one-sided equation that never ends well. Now flip the script. What happens when she's the one investing? That's when the magic happens. Let's unpack this, and I'll show you exactly why it works. Think about this for a second. When someone puts effort into something, whether it's time, energy, or even emotions, they start to value it more. It's like that old saying, you don't appreciate what you don't work for. The more she invests in you, the more she'll see you as someone worth keeping. Here's a simple analogy. Imagine you've got a piggy bank. At first, it's empty, and you don't really care about it. But as you keep adding coins, day after day, it starts to fill up. Suddenly, that piggy bank isn't just a plastic jar anymore. It's something valuable. You'll go out of your way to protect it. That's how her mind works when she's invested in you. The more she puts in, the more she values what you share, and the more she fears losing it. All right, so how do you actually make this happen? It's not about manipulating her or playing games, it's about creating a dynamic where she naturally wants to contribute to the relationship. 1. Ask for small contributions. It doesn't have to be big gestures. Start with something simple. Maybe she helps you pick out an outfit, organizes something for you, or shares advice on a decision you're making. These little acts might seem insignificant, but they're her way of saying, I'm part of your life. 2. Give her space to show up. Here's where most guys blow it. They try to do everything themselves. Stop. Let her step up. If she wants to plan a date, let her. If she offers to help you with something, accept it. This isn't about being lazy. It's about giving her the opportunity to show that she cares. 3. Acknowledge her efforts. When she does invest, recognize it. You don't have to make a big deal out of it, but a simple, "I really appreciate that," goes a long way. It's not just about her giving, it's about her feeling seen and valued for what she brings to the table. Now let's sprinkle in some Stoic wisdom, because this is where the philosophy really shines. The Stoics believed in the power of balance and detachment, not in the sense of being cold or indifferent, but in understanding that your value doesn't depend on someone else's actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In this context, it means you don't chase her validation or overcompensate to win her affection. You focus on being the kind of man who naturally commands respect and admiration. By doing so, you create a space where she wants to invest in you because she recognizes your worth, not because you're begging for it. Here's the beauty of this approach. When she's invested in you, her respect and attraction grow organically. It's not forced, it's not transactional, it's real. And when that happens, the dynamic shifts. You're no longer the guy trying to prove himself. You're the guy she values, respects, and admires because she's worked to build something with you. By mastering this, you're not just creating a connection, you're creating a magnetic kind of respect that keeps her intrigued, excited, and drawn to you in ways you've never imagined. So here's the takeaway. It's not about how much you give. It's about creating a space where she feels inspired to give too. Let her invest in you. Let her feel like she's part of something meaningful. And above all, focus on being the kind of man who's worthy of that investment. Stay grounded, stay confident, and let her come to you. Not because she has to, but because she wants to. If this advice hit home for you, drop the phrase "respect is earned, not given" in the comments. And smash that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. I'll see you in the next video.